look, this is the first quarter being reported out under Andy Jassy. Of course, he wasn't CEO for most of the quarter that they're actually reporting on. But what's your take on this post-pandemic shopping outlook and not living up to expectations?
Yeah, great to see you again, Emily. I think it's really interesting. One is, I definitely think there's a stronger return to brick and mortar. We actually heard from some of our clients saying that it was stronger than was expected for this quarter. And there's also more options than ever before. The retailers are catching up. There's a lot more competition with curbside delivery, pickup options. So there's a lot of that going on. And Amazon obviously knew that there'd be some softness here. They moved Prime Day into Q2. Usually it's Q3 to try to kind of jumpstart sales. One of the interesting things about that as well that I noticed in the earnings was that one of the goals of Prime Day is to grow subscriptions, Prime subscribers. And that was also softer this quarter as well. It's only up 28% versus last quarter. It was up 34%. So competition, return to brick and mortar, things like that.
What does Andy Jassy have to prove? I mean, obviously, he's taking over after a legendary run. I'm curious what you're hearing from your former colleagues that still work at the company about what they would like to see.
Well, the interesting thing about Andy Jassy, he's really well known at Amazon as an executor, an excellent executor. Also with AWS driving so much profit, his interest is really in profit. And if you could see from this quarter, profit was great, top line sales were softer. So I think that we're going to continue to see that focus on profit.
Now, the other question is Jeff Bezos and his role as executive chairman going forward. We were in Van Horn, Texas last week watching the launch. It was surreal to be on the ground in that moment, but a lot of people weren't happy that he's spending his money and time doing this at all. How do you expect Jeff to be involved in the company and that role to be clarified?
One of the great things about Jeff Bezos is that he's the innovator and the creative person. I think that's a little bit of the concern with Andy Jassy and Dave Clark kind of in position, is that they're known as executors. Dave Clark, now the CEO, Worldwide Consumer Retail, took Jeff Wilke's spot more on the supply chain logistics side. So really, I do think that Jeff Bezos will be involved on the innovation side, hopefully, just in not having to deal with the everyday issues that Andy's going to have to deal with.
So what are your expectations for the next, let's say, 5 months before the end of the year as we move into the holiday season, and typically a big holiday season for Amazon under a new leader, Jeff Bezos as executive chair? What are you watching?
Well, I think one of the things that we're all watching is the looming capacity crunch. UPS has already said that they're going to be short 5 million, over capacity, 5 million packages a day. And so I think that that's going to be a huge constraint, which is, great that Dave Clark is there to really focus on supply chain and logistics. I think we're going to see a really big crunch with supply chain and capacity. And then I do think competition has never been greater than before. There's a huge battleground on delivery time and grocery delivery. GoPuff's delivering things within 30 minutes. I've noticed that the delivery time and shipping speeds of Amazon seem to getting greater. So I think that's going to be another big focus.